Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the We Know Love Island podcast here on RHAP. Today, we will be talking about Love Island Games Season 2, Episodes 2 through 4. I'm, of course, Kirsten MacInnis, joined as always by the great Brian Scally. Scally, how are you?
Hello. I'm so excited to be back here already talking about more Love Island games. I feel like this season has been extremely active, extremely messy, extremely lots of things. They have not put this on pause for a single second that they've been on air.
No, we've had Love Island Games the last 4 nights in a row, and I feel like I've been riveted to my TV with all of it. Like, this is cinematic at points.
Literally. Yeah. And no one works harder than Ariana on Love Island Games. She's here every 5 minutes. Like, we're bringing in new
Period.
bombshells. We have a challenge every single night. Someone's getting booted every other night. I feel like the pace is crazy.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I love especially can like the end game of these love shows can be kind of slow. And so it feels like it's been forever since we've had like that boom, boom, boom Love Island feeling. Cause like early Love Island kind of feels like this too, just there's less of the host. But Ariana's there every day. And I'm gonna say it right now. Ariana Madix could host Survivor, but Jeff Probst could not host Love Island Games. Period.
I think that was probably true. The thing is, I think that last season they played it a little bit safe. We didn't have a ton of recouplings. The eliminations were maybe a little fewer and farther between. They really held on to some of the bigger names as much as they could. And I feel like this season is like anybody can get it. We're sending all the faves home. Well, maybe not yet, but we are putting them all at risk. So I'm very curious to see how this goes.
Yeah, I think it's really fun. I'm excited to see kind of how the elimination goes. I'm assuming that, I mean, obviously there was a vote after episode 4, which we'll talk about later, but I'm assuming that, the bottom 3 or 4 people will then be up for or even bottom 2 will be up for a vote by the Islanders, or maybe like bottom, like a girl and a boy will go home. But I think obviously the Islanders will have some say on that as well.
I wonder.
I think. I mean, I could be wrong.
We don't know. So yeah, I mean, we can discuss it more as we get there, but there is just like so many more ways that you can go home on Love Island games as compared to a normal Love Island season or even last Love Island games.
Yeah, and again, like, I have selective amnesia, I swear to God, because I don't remember any of Love Island Game Season 1. I watched all of it. I podcasted about it. I was here. My brain refuses to recall any of it.
It feels a little bit like a fever dream. Like, remember that other spinoff that happened of Love Island that they kind of also took a year off from? Like, Love Island Games 2 was announced for so long, and yet it took forever for us to get it. So I understand what happened on that 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago, which feels like not that long, but in TV time, that's like a decade and a half.
Yeah, Love Island games should not take as long to produce as a series of Game of Thrones. Like, it's and longer, honestly. Like, Stranger Things is the more contemporary reference, I guess. So yeah, it is. Just like start cranking these out. I'm ready. I will forget all of them in terms of the greater details, but I am enjoying myself nonetheless. So I'll keep taking them.
I will exactly. I'll continue. Sorry, you said crank it out, and I got just.
Okay, crank it out.
But yes, okay. Should we jump into kind of the events since the premiere? So the last thing we saw was Charlie and Solange came in and had the opportunity to kiss everyone, and they did. And then they chose their couples, which was Charlie and Andrea and Solange and Mert.
Yeah.
And that's where we come back.
We come back, and I feel like Charlie and Andrea, we didn't necessarily have any reason to think that this would be like, a swing and out of the park. But I will say, for a very short lived couple, there seemed to be a little bit of chemistry here.
I mean, it seemed like there were some sparks. I think that, Charlie was not one of the biggest names from Love Island USA season 7, but like a memorable character. And so I can see, wanting to couple up to someone like that who maybe has some goodwill from America right now, even if they didn't like each other that much. But I mean, they're both close with their families. They go for Sunday dinners and they've got a little bit of a vibe.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is that at first she's like kind of not thrilled that she's separated from Josh, but Charlie and Andrea had very similar boots in terms of the tone and impact on the season, I guess, where it was uh, a big shocker, big dramatics in the villa. Everyone's crying and screaming, so at least they can bond over that. But even more, I felt like their conversation was going pretty well, where she's like,
Mm-hmm.
the only person to this point who has kissed her couple outside of a challenge, and yet she's saying that she's not unhappy about what's going on. She is liking him. He's saying the right thing. So I saw some sparks.
I think they have some potential for sure. Um, we also got Solen and Mert, and Solen's like, he was avoiding my looks. I need to solve this mystery. I want to have fun, and maybe I'll find a boyfriend. I'm like, Solen, what are you doing? He was avoiding
I
your eyes.
I think it's an interesting theory. I really didn't think of it that way. But when Solen's talking about Mert, it's like he was avoiding my eye contact, and I just found him to be mysterious. So I had to like figure out what's going on with him. And so, she's here, she's gonna have fun, play the game, maybe find a boyfriend. But with Mert, I don't think Solen's finding a boyfriend here.
No, I think that the mystery is that he's not interested in her, right? Like, I think
Hmm.
that obviously there are so many Love Island franchises worldwide, right? Um, I don't think I'm wrong in saying that perhaps Love Island France and Love Island Netherlands, Belgium are like not the top of the food chain with regards to like fame and attention afterwards. And so I feel like a lot of these international islanders should maybe be trying to get in with the UK and US people just for like maximum exposure. And I think that that might perhaps be Mert's game. Not that he has said anything to
Mm.
indicate that because he hasn't said anything, but I think it's a valid theory, especially considering like Mert has to at least speak some French, right? Like they might have a easier time communicating than some of
I
these
don't know.
other couples. Isn't
um,
French is one of the official languages in Belgium? No,
I you got me. So
I
I
gotta
think you're
look
right.
it up. I
I think you
gotta
might
look
be
it
right.
up.
But I don't know the level of French that Mert is familiar with, but I do know his usual type, according to him, or at least the opposite of his usual type, and that is Solen. He is not interested. He says very clearly to many people, "No, I'm good, thank you." A hard pass on Solen. No, that's not my type. I'm good.
Which I'm like, I don't really know what that means, but I guess we'll find out more as the season progresses.
Yeah.
I also feel like it's jumping ahead a bit, but like Solana later has a conversation with Zay from Love Island USA, and like he likes her, she likes him, but she won't say she likes him until he says he likes her first. And he's kind of like trying to test the waters, and she comes across like extremely nonchalant. And I feel like this could be kind of an Achilles heel for her is not being
Yeah.
willing to just like express her emotions.
Yeah, I do think it's going to be a little tough. I don't know. Do you think the Americans are just more straightforward on Love Island US? Is that just like, I'm going straight forward? I'm saying who I like. I'm pulling who I want to pull for chats because, or, we don't know. I don't have a lot of experience with the Love Island French cast. I think that wasn't there someone from Love Island France on season 1 who went home first? So I believe that we'll see how Selene can do from here on out.
Yeah, I think that obviously where I'm also not very familiar with Love Island France, but I do think that it's a bit of a stereotype of, US being
Sure.
very brash and the French being a little bit more like coquettish kind of vibe. So it might be might be tough to meet in the middle there, but I'm just a Canadian who's neither of the two.
Yeah.
So who am I to
You don't have
speak?
a horse in this race, but I think for
I have a
Selene,
Selena Mart. I have a horse in this race.
well, fair. I would say that for Selene, it's like there's kind of not a lot to lose because I think we can pretty much wrap up Selene and Mert as we go here because there's not going to be a ton more. And Mert makes that pretty clear when making breakfast the next morning. He tries to serve literally everything in the entire kitchen to Lucinda and then tries to give Selene her leftovers.
No, and we need to talk about Mert making breakfast because every season of Love Island we kind of end up with their own norm as to what breakfast is. Like season 6 and 5. I mean, basically everything pre-season 7 very avocado toast heavy. Season 7 they were bacon, eggs, and pancakes people. Mert is an oatmeal guy, and it becomes like he's got the bowl of oatmeal. At one point, he brings all of the women a bowl of oatmeal in the morning. There's also a scene where he's eating his oatmeal with the blueberries straight out of the pot, like he's living in a frat house, and he offers them to Lucinda, and she's like, "I'm good." I, I'm, I'm disclaimer. I hate oatmeal, so I am
Okay.
biased against this. But is that oatmeal look disgusting?
What if it's the standard on Netherlands, Belgium that you make your couple oatmeal for the day?
Then I'm Listen, my mom would love it. That woman force fed me oatmeal every morning of my life for years and years. And she said, it'll keep you full till lunch and it'll keep you warm all day. So I guess on Love Island, Netherlands, Belgium, they're full till lunch and they're warm all day.
It's a good strat, but no, it was painful watching him try to give Lucinda this oatmeal that even she didn't want, but he made her taste it anyway. And then when she's like, no, thank you, he put my used spoon back in the oatmeal. Oh, okay. Well, Lucinda doesn't want it. Celine, how's some used oatmeal?
And listen, Britain is not known for their food, but I feel like they are known for having a classic breakfast,
Mm.
And the lumpy oats are not part of that.
I look, food should not go to waste, so I appreciate Mert from that aspect, but
He should
I
have eaten it.
I feel bad for Selene where it was just like he could have made them both breakfast. Even if you're not interested in her, it just is it's gotten to the point where she's going to be embarrassed if you are making breakfast for someone else and you also have not expressed to her that you're not interested directly.
And it's day 2. Nobody is that connected. You could just
Yeah.
make breakfast for everyone.
How much harder is it to make a double serving of oatmeal? Because I feel like it's just using a bigger pot.
Based on the amount that Mert was making, he already had enough. He just needed to put some more in a bowl.
So yeah, I mean that was pretty much the beginning and end of Selene and Mert. They're good competitively, but
Mm.
as a couple, there's an absolute zero chance this goes anywhere.
But I'm fine with that. Like I really like that the people on this season are like, yeah, everyone's hot and they're locked in a villa. They're going to be flirting, they're going to be exploring connections and looking for romantic relationships. But I like that it's not like we have to be in love or it's over because
Yeah,
that's not the name of the game.
I really was trying to grapple with this myself because it's Love Island, and even the first two words of this title are Love Island. Okay, games comes after, but for me, that is representative. The games is the secondary thought. I want to see them falling in love and being a real couple, and I would like to believe that. That would be my ideal winner. But then I had to sit there and think of, like, is this just the challenge with Love Island contestants?
Yes.
And is this just going to be like the format and it's a new show and it's just basically there are male female partnerships and like we can do a little bit of the branding of love, but basically we're just pulling from a casting pool to do the same exact thing. And I think if I watch it from that way, I'm going to enjoy it more because there still can be love on the challenge.
Mhm.
It's usually ill advised, but regardless, I feel like the 3-week period, I would rather them be honest and like see strategy and competition than for them to fake this. Oh, we're so in love after 3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. It's 3 weeks. It's 100% a different show, and it's just, as you said, the challenge with Love Island contestants, except that some of the kissing is part of the challenges.
Yeah, that's true.
And I would like to see it. We'll see how it goes. I think that at the end of the season, and after we've seen a couple of, America votes results, I think that we'll have a clearer view of how much we like this and how it fits into like the broader notion of Love Island. But I'm having fun. Um, we also get, Chris and KK are still coupled up. They're doing great. They have kind of like the biggest plot line a little bit of this
Oh yeah.
episode.
Yeah, Chris and
Love these
KK.
episodes.
So this is going to be one that continues through the episodes, but this conversation in particular is very like Chris saying, let's talk about strategy, and KK says, let's talk about flirting because they're on two completely different pages here.
Yeah, and like to the point where Chris thinks that a kiss in a challenge counts the same as a kiss outside of a challenge.
The challenge, look, I think that there is a world in which you make it count, but when your mouth is full of sand and goo, it does not. Like when they're saying these kisses were 10s out of 10s.
Scally, we're done talking about Mert's oatmeal, okay?
I no, I raise the standards if a sandy gooey kiss is a 10 out of 10. I have a problem. You should see a doctor because something is wrong.
You need mental health care.
I am upset. And so, like, to be like, yeah, it was great. I don't know what you're talking about. It's the same. This is standard. Like, sir, I'm gonna need you to get the sand out of your mouth before you kiss me, please.
Like, go brush your teeth. Do a tongue scrape.
Yeah.
Have some mouthwash. Be in a comfy location, not covered in goo, and then give a kiss a try and see how it feels.
And I really thought we were heading in that direction here, and I think so did KK because
Yeah.
ooh, wouldn't it? Maybe we should kiss outside the challenge. I need you to do more. Okay, maybe you could kiss me. Wouldn't it be crazy if we kissed right now? And Chris is like, yeah. See you later, strategy buddy. Like, this is.
And then we get like a Chris confessional where he's like, this is just moving too fast. And I'm like, I'm sorry. A beautiful woman wants to kiss you. It's not like she asked you for sex.
Yeah, look, I think Chris came in last season as a Casa Amor bombshell where he was not confronted immediately with a like super physical connection. He was talking to Shelly, which was mostly talking, and then talking to Huda in the hopes of continuing to talk to Shelly. And so it's like for Chris, Love Island has never moved this fast before, but you're brought on as an OG. You better do OG things. Like, we're being a little boring here, Chris.
Chris needs to make sure they step up his game. I just,
Mm-hmm.
There's also like Tyreek and Andrina have a little bit of a chat where it's, I think they're in the speakeasy. They're talking about, what will happen if Andrina is like bad in challenges. And he literally is like, I don't know. I don't know what I'll do if you're bad in challenges.
Yeah, look, he's being honest. And that's the thing. They have established they're going to be honest with each other. And I think when you look at it back as like the Love Island challenge rather than Love Island spinoff, then are we mad at Tyreek for being this honest?
I have seen a lot of comparisons between Tyreek and Ace this week of how Tyreek is everything Ace wishes he was. And I feel we've seen enough to confirm that theory. And literally like Andrea's like, oh, I'm worried you're gonna switch up on me if someone else is better. And he's just like, let's make the speakeasy our place. And then they'd make out. He's like, I don't want to have this conversation.
He's like, if you're worried about that, then maybe you should compete better. Use it as motivation. Like, oh.
But this isn't the craziest thing. We'll get to the craziest thing Tyreek says.
You know, definitely not even close to the craziest thing that he says this week.
No, not at all. At bedtime, we could see, Mert is still thinking about Lucinda.
Yeah, it's
I
cute.
mean, KK's like, "Why isn't Chris kiss me?"
Yeah, that's the thing, and I did think it was funny where Solen's like, I just want to see you guys kiss for like the height differential of it all.
The height later on in the last episode, KK and Chris do a chest bump, and it is literally KK's chest against Chris's crotch region because of the height difference. And I had realized that they had a big height difference, but until that moment, I didn't like realize the height difference.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. And so I don't know if, like, even in bed, like, okay, their heads are in the same region, but KK's like feet are hitting his groin. Like, it is
He kicks
not
him by accident.
literally. And, that would be the most touch they had during the night because KK is complaining in the morning. Like, he just like rolled over and went to bed. Like, we did not, like, there's no affection here.
Yeah, because KK doesn't know the cheat code to get cuddles from Chris, which is 3, 2, 1.
I think you watch the end of that season, Chris takes his sleep very seriously. He is not cuddling, he is not making out, he is going to bed. I will see you in the morning. I only kiss people in public.
Yeah, and I also do think it goes to, like, the night before, Chris was, like, talking to Nicola saying, "Oh, I like you. I'm interested in you." And so it just goes to show maybe KK's not his first choice.
He did
Maybe
tell
he'd
Nick.
move faster with someone he liked a little more.
It's possible. He told Nicola specifically, I believe, that she was his second choice. So maybe that's just what he's saying. Maybe, but I think Chris has moved faster in the past. He did get burned very publicly on Love Island, and so maybe he is extremely hesitant to have that happen again. I don't think that, even though I think a large percentage of the audience was on his side in all of that, he probably still doesn't have like as many fans or ride or dies out there, like, sticking by
Yeah.
him. So it's something he's not looking to repeat so quickly.
But also, why would you tell someone they're your second choice?
The Love Island's an interesting show.
Like, what's wrong with people? I don't
Yep.
what it's fine. Um, but again, Chris is very much, I'm here to compete, I'm here to win, I'm not here for feelings. That's the way it is. Like, if I find love, cool, but that's not what I'm here for.
Yep.
Um,
Should
we
we talk about
do
the duel?
I literally need to talk about the duel so badly.
The duel, we find out, is going to happen through a text where, with our single islanders of Josh and Lucinda find out that they will be having a duel later on tonight with their first chance to pass on the heartbreak necklace, where they will choose another islander to take on in a competition. If they win, they get to pass on the necklace to their opponent, but if they lose, they will continue to wear this apparently extremely uncomfortable, gaudy looking necklace.
I mean, I'm surprised no one's neck turned green. Let's
Ugh,
be so clear about the necklaces.
it was so
And
bad.
so it's Josh immediately was like, Charlie's got to be what, 140 pounds, soaking wet. I'll pick him. Okay, like, stop, stop talking. Like, so bizarre.
It's interesting
And
because before, Charlie came in, Josh was really set on Tyreek of like, well, I found all of your coins and you just went, and it's like there was the back and forth there. But now that Charlie has taken Andrea, it's like, whoop, Tyreek, we forgot about you for now. You're on the back burner. I got to deal with Charlie first.
yeah, Josh gives kind of odd vibes when it comes to all of this, but I think that it ultimately is good for the show. So I won't say anything really about it. Nicola is giving really good advice to Lucinda of, well, I wouldn't pick anyone who's bigger than me. I would try to pick someone smaller than me just for an advantage. And
Sure.
Lucinda's just, I hate fighting. I didn't get the memo about this show. And this is where it's so crazy. So the duel itself is where both parties are bungee corded together, and
Mhm.
they have to collect balls out of a bin and then put them into the like 5 containers across the side of the square box?
Yeah, the ring.
The
It's
ring?
like a
Thank you.
boxing. It's like a boxing ring that gets repurposed for a bunch of different challenges.
Yes. And so I see this challenge and I'm like, oh, Lucinda's losing that. Lucinda
Oh
is
yeah.
tiny. Like, she does not look like Andrea is like tall and strong, and her whole thing is that her like quads and glutes are so strong and that she could do anything. No, Lucinda drags Andreana's ass around the entire boxing ring for 2 rounds straight and just wins.
Honestly, Andrea, this was like a little embarrassing.
A
Like,
lot embarrassing. Like when she's laying down and they're yelling like get up, and she like, can't even stand up. She can't put like, you're not gonna tell me that she does like, just being taller makes you way more than someone shorter than you. And like, I guess you could argue Lucinda's center of mass is a bit lower, and so that would be a benefit, but
would
like,
I?
insane.
It
Actually insane.
was shocking. That is where, everyone was telling Lucinda, don't pick Andrina. She's bigger than you. She's going to destroy you. And then Andrina is flopping around like a fish. Gets in the total, Lucinda beats Andrina 10-1. Like, or
Mhm.
10-2 in total. It is a blowout.
Yeah, it was not even close. Like when Lucinda was saying, "Oh, I think I could beat Andreana because she was second worst in the first challenge," I'm sitting there going, "Lucinda, you idiot! Like
Yep.
she's bigger than you. Like you don't know what the duel will be. Like she could get you. Like listen to Nicola for the love of God." No, Lucinda said, "I can beat Andreana, and I will show you that I will do it in embarrassing fashion." And it was cinema. It was
It was
literally
really
like,
good.
it's like when you watch a sport. It's like when you're watching Rudy and Rudy finally gets to play at the end of the game and he like does really well when no one's expecting it. That's how I felt when Lucinda beat Andrina in this
It
duel.
was super fun. I mean, even after where Lucinda's like, I like really just feel renewed. Like, I feel like I care about winning. Like, this place can make me, out of all people, competitive. Imagine what it could do to other people. Like, this is scary.
I love how when she's down, Lucinda's like, I'm not meant to be
Yeah.
here. This is not my location. I didn't get the memo. The second she wins, she's like, I like it here. Like maybe I do belong.
Yeah. And it is like going to build Lucinda up, but we will see for Andrina. Like, it drags her down in her own eyes and in others.
Big time.
Yeah.
The duel, Josh does pick Charlie, and it's closer, but still not that close. Like Josh really won a total like 10-4,
Yeah.
which was very good. But like it ends and Josh is like, I'm never gonna forget this. As long as I live, I'll never forget this moment. Like, I love you now. Like, is like hugging Charlie and like, oh, I guess I love you now because you're no longer gonna be with Andrea. And it's like, this
It's
is
funny.
strange.
It's always so silly to me. Like, this is, be proud of yourself. Like, you did a great job for putting balls in a tube on Love Island games. Like, I'm not confident you're going to remember the details of this in 2 years, let alone the rest of your life, but we'll see.
Oh no, he will remember that for the rest of his life. And it was also, just for the record, Josh said, "Oh, Charlie's 140 pounds soaking wet." Charlie himself said he's 70 kgs, which is like 155 pounds. So
Okay.
figure it out, Josh.
Yeah, that's a really big difference.
15 pounds is a big difference.
A little bit.
Are you? If you stepped on the scale tomorrow and you had either gained or lost 15 pounds, you'd be like, "Whoa."
Okay, fine. But in terms of the person that I'm facing being 15 pounds bigger or smaller, it's not the world of difference, especially in a rough estimate joke.
Well, I'm just saying he was wrong. Okay, he was wrong. Um, I I don't think I will get over the Andreina Lucinda duel for a long time. I know I won't remember it forever, considering how little I remember of Love Island Games season 1. Like let me not be unrealistic, but I'm gonna be thinking about this one for a while.
Yeah. See, if Lucinda was like, I'll remember this for the rest of my life, I'd be like, you should. You should remember this forever because we did not see this coming.
They could make a motion picture about it. They simply could.
Yep, yep, yep. And this is
Um,
going to lead to Josh and Andreas back together, the happy couple. But Josh is a little worried because he knows Andrea's a hot ticket item. People are going to be
mhm.
coming in here trying to steal her from him every time. Is that always what he wants to be doing? But it's sometimes you got to go for what you want on Love Island Games.
I mean, based on what I've seen, I actually think there's nothing Josh would like more than having to continuously compete to win Andrea back. That
Yep.
I think that is his dream.
Yep. Yep. So that's all good. Whereas, like we said, Lucinda's super happy. Andrina, not so much. She is pretty upset after that, a little bit down in the dumps, talking to Tyreek, even saying, like, are you at all considering like looking at me different? Ty's honest, says, for my own safety in this game, there is now a little bit of doubt in the back of my mind.
And is this where he says, like, maybe I should be with someone who's good at the challenges, but I could also explore romantic partnerships? Or does he say that later on?
I don't
He
remember
says it
exactly
multiple
yeah,
times.
he does. He really is just like kind of dropping hints all the way around.
I know, but I loved it. I love a self-aware villain.
Yeah. That's the thing is that look, I want this energy on the show right now. Like we're being honest. This is what we asked for was honesty, and so I think that when saying I am not walking away, when he has conversations later, I believe with Lucinda, he says like I still find Andrina hot, like she's still very attractive, but could I have both challenge ability and an attractive person to be teamed up with? That would be nicer.
I mean, you wanna have that.
It
You
is the
you
ideal on Love Island Games.
you want to have that, and this is where so Andrea's upset. She's crying in the bed. She had a bad day, and Tyreek decides that this is the opportunity to make a move on KK, saying, "Should I explore with someone I'm interested in who's also competitive?"
Hmm.
Meanwhile, KK is feeling kinda down because she's in a couple with someone moving much slower than what she's used to, and, they make out in the bathroom.
I was shocked, but I was rooting for this because it's messy. I'm sorry. I understand that Andrina is upset. I understand that Chris doesn't know this is happening and he's probably not going to be thrilled about it. But I was like, yes, two very entertaining people being messy on my TV screen, potentially going to couple up and leave behind people who, up until this point, had been less entertaining. I was going to be pretty happy.
If this gets Chris out, I'm interested.
Yeah, and it was, like against the shots of Chris just like so tall he's leaning against like the headboard like trying to sleep. He's not even waiting for KK to get back. They're not going to have a conversation. He's done with this.
No, like Mert's like, "Hey, you should cuddle with KK," and he's like, "Too fast for me.
Mm.
Got to go to sleep." Okay.
I wonder when that would really flip a switch. When would we be able to do this? Because Chris, throughout episode 1 and all of the episodes this round, really talking about how eye on the prize, going to win the game, love comes completely second. And even though he has acknowledged, I'm into KK, I could see her ruining this for me because I'm going to get so swept up in it, I'm going to take my eyes off the prize. Like, at what point would Chris have explored anything besides the game?
Also, we're a third of the way through. Like,
Yep,
like it's
a little bit.
TikTok. If you're gonna make a move, you've got to make a move. Like this is not a game for a slow burn. This is,
No.
you have to really just jump in with both feet and take the full experience. So we'll see what happens with that. We also have Kendall and Garby are still holding strong. They
They're cute.
are very, very cute. And I also like, obviously there's like the Garby and Ken, and it did not even occur to me that he's like the Ken doll
Mm-hmm.
until Ian Sterling said that, and I was like, wow, I'm literally an idiot.
Ian a genius, so we've been new. But yeah, they did point out to us it is Garby and Kendall, so that is great. But even better is this conversation where it's, Kendall's Garby's biggest supporter. She would have felt confident if they had to go into the duel there. So hope that Garby and Kendall still feel confident if they have to go into a duel later. But overall, like, cute conversation, a make out in the photo booth. My favorite couple's doing great.
Yeah, they're doing great. They're making out in bed, they're cuddling. I feel like, if nothing else, I actually do believe that they really like each other. So
Yep,
we'll see where it goes.
I
Um,
agree.
the next morning, KK decides to tell Andrea that she kissed Tyreek, but not Chris or Andreina. Um,
Look. Andreina was not present, to be fair, considering she had been pulled out for some rest and relaxation. But Chris was around. We could have told Chris. This might have been a
she
good
could have
timing.
told she could have told Chris. It would have been a good time to tell Chris.
To be fair, Chris might have been sleeping or just keeping his distance in
Oh yeah,
general. Like,
listen, you can't wake Chris up. His
it's
sleep is
true.
very important to him. So you make some good sense. Yeah, because Charlie gets a text very early that he and Andreina will be leaving the villa to get some R&R, and they're going for dates. Charlie's on a date with Justine, obviously Justine Joy, winner 2 times of Love Island USA and Love Island Games, and then Johnny 2 times Justine's runner up
I know,
is
that's
meeting
so
with
wild.
Andreina.
It's so wild how that's worked out. But Charlie and Justine go on their date. Justine, a queen, a legend, a literal royalty of Love Island.
I
So
How does she get hotter every time I see her? Like, I just watched, I mean, I unfortunately didn't get very much Justine on Perfect Match because they did her so dirty. It's
yep.
actually disgusting. But like, even since then, like, she is hotter every single time I see her. I don't know how it's possible. She's also so funny. Like, I don't think I had realized Justine was coming back to this show.
I did not know at all. There had been lots of leaks online over the supposed
Yeah,
Love
she
Island
wasn't one of
cast.
them, right?
Not at all. There's so many people now where I am floored they are back. Justine and Johnny walk in, mouth agape. I did not know this was happening. What do you think about people who were on Love Island Games season 1, specifically Justine the winner, and I guess Johnny the runner up coming back?
I mean, I feel like it's a fun story. Like, Johnny has an axe to grind. He's come in second place twice. Like, he wants to win. Justine is like, well, I'm either going to win a third time or I'll be retiring forever, and you'll get to see how that goes. I'm assuming that Peacock cut them both a fat check, and I love that for them.
I hope they did. I feel like if this is truly going to become the challenge of Love Island, you know what they do on the challenge is bring people back over and over and over.
Mhm.
So if I get
And
to watch Justine grow and she's 42 years old going by Justine Bananas, like in the future, I will take it.
and obviously Justine was on the Challenge USA.
Yes.
Johnny has played the real challenge as well, correct?
Hmm.
It feels like a bit of an unfair advantage for these garbage Love Island challenges.
Yep. So they've definitely competed in much better, Justine, even on the world championship level. So it has been a little bit of a step down to come back to Love Island Games in terms of competitive ability. But you know what? If that brings Justine her third win, I'm all in on it. And she is, especially after hearing out that it's 250,000 this time. I think that's more than Justine has won in both of her seasons combined by far.
She heard 250,000. She had the same reaction we did. What?
Oh, budget.
Okay.
Budget now, huh?
I think she is certainly more interested in the show experience knowing that there's a bigger prize possibly.
Maybe I'm not going to retire for the rest, even if I lose. Maybe that $250,000 next year sounds nice too.
And if it means I get to see Justine Joy on my TV again, I'm all in. One of my favorite reality TV contestants of a long, long time. She's so wonderful.
What do you think about Charlie and Justine?
I don't really. At first, I was like, the fact that he didn't recognize her, big negative mark on my roster. He did get there. Oh, did you win? I'm like, did production say something? Like, did he say, who are you? And they were like, you idiot.
Cut!
And I was like, okay, well, like, I don't see them having a real romantic connection, but like, she did win last time with a Brit, so I could see her thinking, oh, that's the winning formula, a US and a Brit. But Charlie, I think, is maybe not the Brit for her.
I think that Justine and Charlie had like a fine conversation. I think Justine could have chemistry with most people on a dating reality show, but I think doesn't really matter because Justine has made it clear she is here for the money this time. She wants the three-peat. She is going to solidify her legend status, her legacy by winning this third season. And so I think Justine, I would expect to be going after her best chance at winning this game, knowing that the love usually doesn't work out here for her.
2 times she's won Love Island. And the first time with a certified scammer who absolutely used her. And at least the second time, I think it was maybe a bit more of a mutual, like, we're not in love, but let's win together is kind of the vibe. Because, like, I don't think her and Jack ever, like, posted anything about being...
the season.
Did they date or were they just hanging out?
They were back and forth very much. I mean, how much of it is like, we want to continue posting for posting's sake? Who knows? But they were definitely still traveling back and forth a little bit.
Interesting. Yeah, because I never got the vibe that was like real for either of them. And like, it's not the kind of thing where someone's like shattered at the end of it, was kind of the vibe I got.
I don't know. Seemed a little sad. But regardless, I think the more interesting coupling here is Andrea and Johnny, who
know
history.
And once again, for the record, Andrea was just on Love Island season 7. She has not had that much opportunity to be in this world of Love Island and be meeting these Love Island people. And she's been in the DMs with Tyreek. She's got history with Johnny. Everybody wants her.
I love
except for the men of Love Island USA season 7. So I'm glad that we're getting to see that now.
I'm so happy. I think this is super interesting where they're even discussing, hey, we haven't seen each other really in 2 months. My assumption is she gets out of the villa. She goes back to LA. She meets Johnny Middlebrooks and then she goes home. They continue talking for a little bit. But I am curious. I mean, from the first moment that Johnny is immediately pressing, like, oh, are they a better kisser than me? Like, oh, did you forget? Do you need to be reminded? Like, Johnny, like, this is why you bring Johnny Middlebrooks back, because he is a menace.
He is absolutely a menace. And I love that they agreed to, like, not tell anyone about how much they know each other. That's fun. That's strategic. Johnny is like, Lucinda beat you in a duel, isn't she? Isn't she like that big? And Andrea's like, don't start now.
I just got over this. Like, please.
So funny. And so while they're on the dates, this is when Solenn has that conversation with Isaiah, which I don't know if their flirting styles align, but they do seem interested in each other. This is when Chris and KK also, they have a conversation, just not about her kissing Tyreek.
Totally game related. It is impossible to have a conversation with Chris that is not game related.
And then Lucinda talks to Mert, and she is talking about how she needs princess treatment. And he's like, well, I made you breakfast. Like,
real. I made you a bowl of oatmeal, so I don't know what more you want.
Breakfast is the bare minimum. babe. Come on.
I'm just
And
happy we don't have, artificial, stupid mini dates going on. So oatmeal better than those.
I'd rather have an artificial date than eat a bowl of
Ugh.
oatmeal.
I would definitely rather watch the oatmeal at least. So
Almost.
regardless, Lucinda and Mert are very interesting to me, and it's a it's a relationship that I don't want to end right now, even though
No.
it is on the brink of ending at every second that they're in the Love Island villa, that they're not actively making out, because Lucinda's just kind of confused. Does Mert really want this? And unless they're actively making out, she's not really feeling it. He's a great kisser, apparently, but I
Yeah,
don't
it's
think
so
there's a whole
funny.
bunch else.
They're like up in soul ties, and she's like, "Oh, my head hurts," like a little complainy. And Mert's like, "Do you want me to make you better?" And she's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You know what I mean." She's like, "No, I don't know what you mean." And then they make out. It's like he obviously meant like kiss, kiss you better or whatever.
Yeah,
And they have a great kiss. She's like, "Well, now I feel a real difference. Like this is so good." And it's like
I can
it kind of
see.
low key gives the vibe. Do you remember that was this couple that got really big on TikTok where they had like met in Italy and the husband like did not speak very much English and the wife is American and would be like she'd like pull pranks of like
Yes.
breaking the spaghetti in front of my Italian husband, all that. But like his English was not very strong and yet they were so in love and it was
Mhm.
working just fine. I feel like it's like similar communication style issues between Lucinda and Mert.
I think with Lucinda and Mert, like he's giving her all of the reassurances, verbally saying like,
Mhm.
I find you extremely attractive. I like you. I want to be coupled up with you. So I don't really know how much more he could be doing in that department. I think he probably has to seek her out a couple more times a day to hang out and have conversations. That's probably what I think the biggest issue is here. But the sexual chemistry is there. Every time they make out, like they're literally cheering each other on and like going to other people and being like, it was so good. Like they're
Yeah.
so happy.
And it's also this is all happening extremely fast. Like I think these 4 episodes were maybe 3 days of
Hmm.
the island, so
Oh, it is. Yeah.
it's really really fast. Um we get the evening time. Ariana comes in another. I every single look Ariana's had this season has been fabulous. I don't want that to be lost in translation.
Agreed.
Occasionally she has a look where I'm like, oh, she looks beautiful, but I don't really get it. Every single time, loved every look.
I
Um,
agree.
and so this was challenges in couples. And so Andrina and Johnny picked to challenge Garby and Kendall, and Charlie and Justine picked to challenge Nicola and Isaiah. And the challenge was actually so hard.
Yeah, it looked impossible.
And so it was basically like they had like a metal kind of like heartbreak symbol, and then you had a hoop with each person pulling a string that's connected to the hoop, and you have to try to get the hoop from one side to the end without the metal ring touching the metal shape of the heartbreak. And there's 2 spots where you are safe and you can stop at that location. It looked really, really hard. Um,
Yeah, I would say usually I'm used to seeing this where someone has like a pole, so it's a fixed length, a
mhm.
fixed like stiffness, but this was extremely difficult where people kept disqualifying over and over and over.
Yeah, I was like, this is extremely, extremely challenging. And Justine and Charlie started out doing really, really well, but it just they couldn't clutch that last little bit. And Isaiah and Nicola win.
Well, because they
Um,
did get to challenge whoever they wanted in the villa, and so while they were away, we got like a little brief, ooh, I might pick this team, not showing us who it
yeah.
is. And so when they do finally get back, it's Charlie and Justine did pick Nicola and Isaiah, where Andrina and Johnny picked Garby and Kendall. We're taking them on.
Yes. And Andrea and Johnny chose correctly because they literally, I mean, their communication was also really, really good. Like
Yeah.
they only failed a couple of times at the very end. They made it through the first 2 checkpoints without making a mistake, and
Yeah.
Garby and Kendall started off a little bit rough and were getting better as it went on. So they just like didn't have enough time to get to the end and win.
Yeah. I
And
think Garby was talking about how it's like tough to make a fist with her nails because they're so long. She's like, I'm taking them off. I'm done. Like, we're cutting these nails.
yeah, I did. I liked that too because honestly, I don't currently have nails on, but like the amount that you are able to just interface with the world better with short nails is so dramatic compared to with longer nails. Even they don't even have to be that long to cause a problem with like a gripping a rope like that. So I think she's got a good idea. She should cut those nails.
Yep.
She should take them off. Uh at the end, Andreana gives her necklace to Kendall.
Yeah, she's able to give her necklace to either person of the losing couple and does give it to Kendall instead of Garby. Look, Kendall, very endearing here where he's like, I'm glad that I got it over Garby. Like, she feels really guilty, but he wants her to stay and have a chance no matter what.
Yeah, and I think that this was a good move to like as well. And so it ends up being Kendall versus Charlie for elimination, and they do the Love Island Games thing where you go stand behind the person you want to save, and Kendall wins pretty handily. The only people who voted for Charlie were Tyreek, Chris, Solène, Justine, and Andreina.
Yeah, he wins by like like 3 or 4 votes. So definitely, there's it's closer than I think I expected, to be totally honest. But Charlie 0 for 2 on eliminations. I think he might have a record.
I just can't stop thinking about the TikTok Charlie made where he was like, Love Island's over, so I never have to see these people again. Like he could just repost that
Yep.
one
Just,
as soon as he gets home. I assume he'll
exactly.
be on After Sun first.
It's like episode 2, Daddy's home. Episode 3, Daddy goes home. Like it's over. Just like goodbye.
He came in episode 1. Don't take that away from
Sorry.
him.
Yeah, the 3
How
minutes he
dare
was on
you?
episode 1.
And that I think is actually karmic punishment for him calling himself daddy in that way. Like
Yeah.
I just don't think Charlie has the gravitas or even like the Love Island relevancy to say dad. Like Johnny could have come in and said daddy's home.
Yeah.
Like he's
That's fair.
allowed. Charlie just he doesn't have it like that, and that's
Because
okay.
Johnny literally had a baby since we've last seen him also. So, the qualifiers are there.
That's not what I meant, but you know what? It works. It works too. And congratulations to Johnny.
It's true.
um we do get like Chris and KK talk about the vote. Like everyone's just kind of talking about the competition. Nicola and Isaiah really like talk about how they did very well, and Nicola expresses that she likes Isaiah, wants to get to know him more, but we don't really see Isaiah expressing the same thing.
We in fact end up seeing the exact opposite when the
Yeah.
conversation does happen. He says to her, like, yeah, I think you're a wonderful girl, but I don't know if it's like there on an intimate level, which I feel like we could have, I don't know, workshopped that one.
I feel like the minute someone was like, "You're a wonderful girl," I'd like, "Okay, I've got to go. I know this is over." Like
I
that's not
actually have to
really
go to the
what's
bathroom.
yeah. Like
Like,
that's not
goodbye.
really what someone says about someone they're romantically interested. Like I feel like if I went downstairs after this podcast and I was like, "Josh, I just think you're a wonderful boy." Like I feel like he's like, "What's wrong with you? Why do you
Literally, he would
like are
be
you
horrified.
like he'd be like, what's happening? Is it
Yep.
over?"
Yep. Yeah, it would be bad. And I've seen some people online being rude about Nicola, and I really like Nicola. I hope that things work out for her in the villa, but it's not gonna be with Isaiah, and I think that's okay.
Yeah, I think Nicola is very entertaining. We saw her crush that challenge with Isaiah. She's been very competitive. She cares a lot about winning. And she's at a bit of a disadvantage coming from Love Island Malta, which definitely I think is getting less views than the kind of mainstay Love Islands. Uh, and even, Malta having a smaller population than a lot of other areas, right? I think she's wonderful.
I really like her. Yeah, I think she's a wonderful girl. So
Yeah.
I hope she sticks
I
around.
realized I called her wonderful and I was like, oh shit, I'm the problem. But I mean, I'm not romantically interested in her. I think that's fine for me to say I'm not on the show in a couple with her.
Yep. I also we did miss one Tyreek quote from the challenge where when Andrea and Johnny win the challenge, Ariana asked Tyreek, like, how do you feel about them being a new couple? And Tyreek is like, it's awesome that they won. I wanted her to stay. Maybe she should stay with him since they're winning. He's like, don't come back to me. I have no interest anymore.
He's like, I want to make out with you, but I do not want to compete with you.
He kind of gets her when she's like, I just feel like you don't believe in me. He's like, how can I believe in you when you don't believe in yourself? And I was like, all right, I don't know if it's the best thing to say to the girl who's having self-esteem issues at the moment, but like,
No, that is crazy. Like, I can also see why people do not like Tyreek, because he really does seem to be talking to women crazy, which I don't love, but I do enjoy the TV that comes out of it.
yeah, I agree. So I'm enjoying my ride so far right now. I think that having Johnny and Tyreek in the villa has been a little bit interesting already, but I can just imagine the mess that's going to be there. So it's been very fun. And especially when they're both interested in Andrea. Like with Johnny and Andrea, when they sit down, they end up making out again like very soon here. So this is an
Mhm.
active, love triangle going on.
And it's also a bit of a pentagon,
Mm,
because Tyreek
yep.
also is like, "Hey, Chris, by the way, KK and I kissed in the bathroom before bed last night."
Tyreek's so messy. And like when he eventually does talk to KK and it's like, oh, are you upset because I told him before you? Like, I'm sorry. Like he knew what he was doing. Like he's
He
creating drama on purpose.
he ruined lunch,
Yep.
and he did that on purpose.
And he even said, like, at one point when he talks to KK, he's like, KK's cool, but also KK and Chris are a really strong couple. And if I can play mind games in this house, like, that's what I'm going to do. Like, Tyreek came in here and said, I'm good at manipulating people and I'm going to manipulate all of you. And they're kind of letting it happen.
Close enough. Welcome back, Dr. Will.
Like, it's so interesting.
Um, so then in the morning, Chris goes straight to Andreina and is like, "Hey, did you know Tyreek and KK made out?" Like, also being very messy.
Very, very messy. I think that it was interesting to watch this little love pentagon go back and forth, talking about how, Chris and KK, do you want to cuddle? No, I'm not interested. I'm not ready. Why didn't you tell me about Tyreek?
Insane. Genuinely insane.
It was so good. And so I felt bad for KK because she even says, like, why does it feel like I cheated on Chris? Like, I've known him for 2 days. I'm single, but at the same time, like, he's being nice about this. So I think KK and Chris still actively okay, but if things don't start moving soon, there's gonna be problems.
I didn't feel like Chris was being that nice about it. Like, I feel like he was saying the right words of, like, I don't care that you kissed him, but it feels like you didn't communicate with me and
Yeah,
that hurts. Like, those are the right things to say,
sure.
100%. Like, it would be crazy if he was actually like mad that she kissed Tyreek when, again, it was like night one. Uh but the way he says it just rubs me the wrong way. I don't believe him.
We'll see. I mean, honestly, at least it's going better than Tyreek and Andrena's conversation because
Mhm.
she comes in like not so hot, but a little hot. Of why didn't you tell me you kissed KK? And he, I think, plays it down. He doesn't escalate immediately. He's like, oh, I was going to tell you in the morning, but you were gone. He has the perfect excuse.
But she's like, "You kissed her at my lowest point mentally. I was crying in the bed and you kissed
Is
her."
is
And
that like a
Tyreek's
valid
like,
argument? Are you upset about that?
I mean, it would feel bad, but it's not really like a reason for him to not do
Yeah.
it at the same time. I think if he had just told her more proactively, it becomes less of a problem. And then he immediately gets like, "Okay, well, that argument didn't work. Next argument, well, you kissed Johnny and didn't tell me."
So good because it is true. I mean, she went on the date. She obviously didn't have a chance to like clear it with Chris, but to clear it with
Uh,
Tyreek after there. So she is like, but at the same time, she's kissed him multiple times and still hasn't said anything. So like
I
they're all making the same mistake.
No, and I love it. Andreina says, that's different. You know, Johnny and I have history. So it's like, okay, so the secret is out. People
Yes.
definitely know because if
Which,
Tyreek knows, everyone will know.
because she did come in saying, like, I talked to Johnny, I talked to Tyreek, I talked to one other person. And so, like, she's been pretty open with that, but I guess we don't know, like, the extent there. And when Tyreek asked, like, well, how many more people do you have a history with that are going to come in? Andrina drops maybe my favorite line so far this season of, I mean, I'm hot. What do you want me to say? Everybody wants me, I guess.
She might have even included a sorry in there, like, sorry, everybody wants me. Like, honestly, so iconic. Like, Andreina is not someone who we've gotten to really hear talk that much across all of her appearances on Love Island. And this, I'm like, let her speak, show me what she has to say because that's so iconic. And literally, Tariq's like, you are so hot.
Literally, she's saying it. I'm like, snap, 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 snap. Like, I'm like very much in agreement. We are very much enjoying. She didn't have too much of a personality on Love Island. I think that's just the luck of the draw, how you get the edit when she came
Yeah.
in. But she said, like, I'm not sleeping through this season. I am going to provide. And I don't think she's been like the star of the season yet, but I'm not ready for Andrina to go home either.
She's an integral part of the drama.
Yeah.
And she says, well, if Tyreek isn't going to give a shit, I'm not going to give a shit. So I think that we're going to see her proceed to be even messier. Andrina and KK talk it out. And Andrina is like, I'm not mad. KK's like, I really wish I could have told you first. But
not much to talk about here. It's really like, I know what it is. You don't have to say anything. I'm not mad. Like, it's fine. But then when Tyreek sees this happening, he pretty immediately interrupts the conversation, is like, KK, let's have a talk. And notice Tyreek doesn't go and like walk KK to a new place or take Andrina's spot. He goes and sits somewhere and waits for KK to walk over to him, which is a power move. Like, I have no doubt in my mind.
it's giving Mickey on Big Brother being like, oh, can you actually come sit next to me because I'm an empath?
So I did notice. I'm going to be keeping an eye out for it because I feel like that could happen again. I thought it was funny. I'm sorry, where KK immediately confronts him of like, why'd you tell Chris? Didn't give me the chance. And he says like, ooh, like, I'm sorry, but this immediately goes super, super flirty again.
It's literally KK says, are you here for competition or are you here to fuck me with your eyes? And Tyreek goes, you like it when I fuck you with my eyes? And she's like, yeah, I do. What? What do you mean?
I'm sorry. I like this. Like, this is drama and I'm happy. This is like kind of more fun, flirty banter than we had on all of Love Island 7.
This feels like more of a relationship than almost everybody
Like,
on Love Island USA season 7, especially a week in,
because
Damn.
the thing is that we had like a quote unquote, very serious relationship in Jeremiah and Huda, but it was like so toxic and so like love rather than like flirt. And so it was like a whole different vibe. Like, this is fun. I like this, even though it's probably also toxic.
I was going to say, TBH, I could see Huda and Jeremiah having this exact conversation.
Yeah. We'll see.
But I guess we'll see where it goes because he promises he will put more eggs in KK's basket because she needs more energy. So
It's good. I think that's a good
KK
place.
and Tyreek watched.
We do also have a conversation with Kendall and Garby that happens out on the dock,
Yes.
where it starts out as preparation for the like, how well do you know your partner challenge. And so they're going to have a couple of different questions like, what's your biggest fear? Which for Kendall is divorce, for Garby is needles. And Kendall says, this is go ahead.
I'm sorry. I think it's like being afraid of divorce is like totally valid. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, why would you be afraid of that? Like, especially because we know he's a child of divorce. Like, it's totally valid. But when she asks, what's your biggest fear? And he says, divorce. And she goes, mine's needles. It's so like,
it's so funny because his is like so heavy and not something he has to really be worried about right now. And then she says hers is needles, which Kendall says, oh, so that's why you haven't had any Botox or anything yet? She's 22 years old.
He at least followed it up with like, not like, obviously you don't need anything. Like, your skin is amazing. And it's like, okay,
like,
well, but also even if she didn't ever get any and just like aged and got wrinkles, that's also like a fine choice that
Obviously.
people can make, Kendall. Like, but you can just tell that Kendall has been so like influencerized and like LA
Yep.
has taken him over that he's like a face that moves.
A
What
person
do
who
you
has not had
mean?
Botox, I'm floored. Yeah. So it was so crazy to me because he says it apparently they've had this conversation of like whether it be specifically have you had Botox or like who in the villa has had what done or like had
Yeah,
done Botox, like who cares, and so she says she has not, and for him to immediately jump to like, so that's why it's because you're afraid of needles and not because you're a perfectly fresh-faced 22-year-old.
a literal child. Like, let the face grow up. Come on. Kendall, but then Kendall kind of pivots. He's like, "Oh yeah, I hate needles too. That's why I don't have any tattoos. You know, a needle that moves so fast." And then Kendall's question is, "What's your favorite sex position?"
Mm,
I just feel there's a heavy escalation between biggest fear and favorite sex position. Like,
yeah.
maybe we didn't see some conversation that happened in
there
between. It felt jarring.
There was like one other question that I didn't bother to
Yeah, I
take
can't
note of
remember what it
because
was.
it wasn't interesting. But the immediately this like sets off flags for me because we know Garby says she's a virgin, but she's not planning on telling people right away. And so wait, she kind of dances around it like, "Ooh, I don't know." And he's like, "Oh, you have to think about it." She's like, "Yeah, I don't really do sex." He's like, "Oh yeah, like like I haven't had sex in a while. Like I don't do sex." And she's like, "No, like I'm a virgin." So
Wait, no, she's like, yeah, I really don't have sex. Like, he's like, you just have to think, just say one.
yeah,
And like, I mean, if she really wanted to keep it secret, she could have just
sure.
said any sexual position. But you know what? Good for her for I would also she's probably feeling pretty off guard because it really felt like it came out of nowhere, this question.
Yeah.
Um,
It is a
and
question
she's
that
like,
will come up in these challenges every single time, so it does make sense to do if this is genuinely
yes.
prep, but, it was, not typical third conversation.
Yeah. And Kendall's like, "Oh, or what are you like a virgin?" She's like, "Yeah. It's not religious. I'm not saving myself. I just like haven't, met the right person." And I do feel like he handled it really well and Garby herself feels really happy with
Yep.
how Kendall handled it. So that's great. I do worry considering how messy Kendall is. Like, does he know keep this fucking to yourself, dude, my guy? Like, do
Ugh.
not turn this into drama in the villa. I hope so.
I could see him letting it slip accidentally more than I can see him being malicious about it.
Yeah.
So that would be kind of my problem. Overall, though, I do think he handled it well. The fact that he literally was like, cool, okay, so what's your favorite snack? Like, it just immediately, just, no like awkwardness, no whatever. It just was a fact we talked about, and we move on to another fact of what foods do you like?
Yeah, and it does feel still like they have just like such a great vibe. Like I really really like them as a couple. So I hope it's real. I just want it to be real.
Really, before Ariana comes in again, the only other conversation that I have is Justine and Chris. And for me, this is Justine sees a 7 foot tall man and thinks, I can win a third Love Island season if I have him.
Yep, 100%. She's like athletic. And Chris says, yeah, people are intimidated by you because you're a winner. You look athletic. It's funny because he also said that people are intimidated by KK like last night. So
Yep.
he only had so many lines. And he's like, yep, I don't play around. Like, so you're here for the money? And he's like, well, money's money. I could get money somewhere else.
He could be playing
I'm
ball, getting money overseas. They pay so much money. They're begging to give him money overseas playing ball.
sure. Yeah, sure, Jan. I think that if he could be making real money playing ball overseas, he would be doing it. Uh,
Uh, which is
personally.
the prevailing common thought, I would say, for sure. I thought it was really funny because I feel like Chris, in every conversation up until now, is like, game, I'm here for the game, strategy. All I care about is the game. And Justine's like, so are you here for the money? He's like, I'm here to have fun. It's like, what? Like, the one other person who's on your energy of Justine being like, all I care about is winning. I'm here to win for my third time. And when she finally like is on your level, you're like, the game's the game. Like, I'm here, like, excuse me, why did we switch this up now?
Yeah, I think he maybe just wanted to come across a certain way and potentially thinks that that's the way to really get in with
I don't know.
Justine, perhaps.
It's
I don't
possible.
know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see more episodes. So we're gonna have the first couples challenge. Ariana comes in and she gets all of the girls to line up because obviously Justine's not in a couple, and so you can't have a couples challenge without that. And this is where we bring in another bombshell. Toby is coming in. He was on Love Island UK season 6, Love Island All Stars, Love Island Games season 1, and now Love Island Games season 2. So this is his 4th Love Island in not that many years.
No, it's so quick. Like Toby may as well not go home. Like he lives on Love Island at this point. Permanent resident Toby.
He lives here.
So,
but they don't all film in Fiji, right?
No, I believe unless they've changed, Love Island usually had filmed in Spain for Love Island UK.
Yeah, they were in Mallorca for a long time.
Yeah, to my recollection. So unless they've changed that recently, but because I also never remember where these shows film at all. But Toby, someone that I enjoy, but I really did not expect to be a 4-time Love Islander so soon.
He's another one of these messy, kind of toxic guys.
Yep. I would not say that Toby is on the level. Like he's not a Johnny, he's not a Tyreek. I think that he comes in and is willing to explore all of his options. I don't think that he is like purposefully playing mind games in the way that Tyreek and Johnny are, but the end result is sometimes the same, where I did see a big like a big collage of all of the girls that have cried over Toby in his Love Island history, and it's not a short list.
Well, and he's also been on, this is the 4th season, so he's just had access to a lot more women to terrorize them, you know?
Sure, but when that list is still like 9 people long, like that's not short.
Yeah, no, it's actually wild. Like, and it's honestly worse that he doesn't do it on purpose.
Is it? I don't know. I'm
like,
really not sure.
I feel like when someone is like playing these games on purpose, if you at least know that, you can kind of anticipate their moves and like you could be toxic back, right?
Okay.
I think that when someone is just like inadvertently toxic and every relationship they have goes poorly due to their behavior and they're making 9 women cry in a very short amount of time, it's like, that's a wild card. You don't even know what he's going to do.
Yeah, but it's like if you had asked me, okay, coming onto the season, I don't know anything about Johnny Middlebrook. I don't know anything about Tyreek. Like, are they toxic? Are they red flags? Like, hard yes, an absolute strong yes. It's like, oh, I don't know anything about Toby. Like, should I stay away? I'm like, it's like soft red flags.
Nah, I think you're being too soft on him. I think
maybe I'm wrong.
I think he's in the same category, just in a different way.
I think it's at least a different font. So I don't know. Maybe I'm defending my guy Toby a little here.
Same font, but in italics, maybe.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know about this.
I don't know. We'll have to see how this season goes. Maybe someone will terrorize him this season. That would be fun.
We will see. Well, and it's very possible because when Toby comes in here, he does get his pick of anyone that he wants to couple up with. And color me not surprised at all for Toby to immediately go to Andrea.
No, but also, what is this? Toby gets to choose any woman he wants. They're just in a couple now. And then all of the other men just pair up with who they were paired up with before. No opportunity for change. And then it's like, okay, well, Josh and Justine, you're a couple now. Like, shouldn't Justine get to then choose from all of the boys that are left?
You would think.
Bare minimum.
I gotta say, I will get to the results of it all, but I feel really bad for Toby where he comes in here and I'm sure a decent amount of the audience knows who Toby is, whether they've watched, Love Island Games, Love Island UK, etc. But Love Island USA has really grown in quite a bit. And then this is a primarily Love Island USA audience. And so Toby comes in here, has 0 conversations, and then is up for a vote. Like, my guy, like that is not a good recipe here.
Yeah, no, that's tough. I think they should have just put him with Justine and made them both safe from the vote.
You would think so. Like, that's truly what I thought might happen because most recent Islander to come in is often safe from the public votes, but we haven't seen Love Island game public votes. Like, that's not been a thing until now.
Yeah, I'm extremely curious to see what happens. So this challenge, which truly was 700 years long, was called Playing the Field. It was sponsored by Sunday Night Football on the NFL. So that's why it was 7 years long. And so basically, like, the girls were wearing helmets that had, like, a bucket on it that would get filled with water from, like, the men, like, twisting a crank.
And they were
And then
cranking it.
and they were cranking it, baby. And we know Scally loves when they crank it on Love Island. Um, and then the girls had to cross the field, which in the first round they had to be walking on tires that were their color, and so the
Yes.
boys were like shifting all the tires around. And then in the second round they had to move under like a hurdle. Really, they had to go
Yes.
under underneath a hurdle
It's
to then dump the water into like it was like a field goal.
like test tube looking things.
Yeah, it was like a field goal made of test tubes with little
Yeah.
footballs in each side, and you had to fill it until you could like get the football out,
Yeah.
basically. And it was done in 2 heats, so we watched it get done 4 times
It was
total. What?
so much. So much, and especially when it's like kind of confusing to see what's going on. I mean, Mert is running around in the first part just sabotaging anyone instead of actually trying to win himself, which was
I
confusing.
It was, but I think Mert started doing that after Josh did it first. Like Josh started switching tires around, and I was like, "Oh hell yeah!" Like I do love to see this. And then that became more of kind of the move
Yeah.
as it went on, to the point where in the second heat, I feel like the men were physically fighting
It was a
just
lot.
on the field.
They couldn't even like finish some of their rounds because it was just not happening with the second heat. Now, to call it hurdles where they're all just like diving under it was also very funny. They weren't allowed to step over it. It was just, like under this little I would almost more say a what is it called? A limbo bar.
Well, yeah, it was a hurdle being used as a limbo bar.
Yeah,
Like, because that's
essentially.
that, like, just so that people have the height of how it was very low. And so the women are like on their hands and knees. Like, I think it's Andrea at one point was like, wow, it's literally just face down, ass up. Like,
Hmm.
damn. And
Yep.
they're also, the girls are wearing just like tiny bathing suit bottoms for this. And
The
everyone is
tiniest.
soaked in the fluid. Like, I feel like I now know KK on an intimate level, and I've never been in
Mm.
the same room as her, you know?
Yep. Well, that's more than Chris can say. So I would say it was a fine challenge. I thought it did go a little bit long,
Mm-hmm.
but overall, I'm looking at the results and I can't complain too much.
Yes. So basically, the top 2 couples from each heat are KK and Chris, and Garby and Kendall, Justine and Josh, and Solent and Mert.
And so
And
these
then,
the 4 couples are going to be safe from America's vote. So that sounds great, leaving Andrea and Johnny, Toby and Andrea, Lucinda, Tyreek, Isaiah and Nicola as the 4 couples facing the public vote until it is revealed that KK and Chris have won the power couple of the week. And as the power couple, they get to choose one of the other safe couples to also face this vote.
crazy. I do
Wild.
feel this is extremely crazy. And they, of course, pick the only couple with no Americans,
Yeah.
and they put Solent and Mert up for the vote.
This was, as I think KK said, like, I don't want to pick someone who's then going to come back and be mad at me. So it feels like these are probably the people that are to get the least votes. And I think that's why in episode 1, when every single person is naming their top 3, they all name the 3 American girls because this is an American audience. Like, we assume that they're going to have at least the most popularity out of the gate.
Mm-hmm. And I think that this is, again, they should be opening the app up for international voters, at least for
Totally
Love
agree.
Island games. Like Love Island USA, whatever. You want to make me as a Canadian a second class citizen watching the show, I'll complain about it, but whatever. But this is an international version with people from all over the world playing it. Why can't we have an international vote just this one time?
Yeah. It's very possible. I do think that there is the chance of like the entire country of Malta like unionizing to get Nicola the votes here. But whereas
But
like I don't
still,
think the
that's
US cares.
500,000 people. That's still like,
I think that's a lot more people than are organizing behind most people in the US.
I don't know, these Stan accounts, they really get the
They are a
vote
lot.
out.
They are a lot.
Um, I don't know, but who did you vote to keep? And then the vote is for which couple do you want to keep safe? Who
And
did
I
you
will
vote for,
say,
Scally?
my top concerns, I have made clear my favorite couple are Garby and Kendall. My
Mm-hmm.
favorite person on the show is Justine. And I
Mm-hmm.
also really like KK. So I
Yeah.
felt like a lot of people that I like are safe. Now, the problem is there's a lot of people that I'm not necessarily rooting for to win the game, but I do want to stick around quite a bit on Love Island Games season 2. And so I felt like pretty much every couple had one person I would like to save and one person I could let go.
Yes, I think that's extremely fair.
Yeah. So ultimately, in thinking about it, I did save Lucinda and Tyreek. I think there's the most story there with them. I think Andrea and Johnny are probably a close second there. I feel bad for my guy Toby. I feel bad for Nicola. I feel bad for Mert, etc. But Lucinda and Tyreek, like Tyreek's a menace and is involved in storylines. I kind of need that to stay.
Yeah, I voted the same way. I guess a little behind the curtain, I swayed Scally's vote because he wasn't
Ooh,
100% certain before we recorded. So I didn't know who he actually voted for. So I feel so powerful right now.
it's true. It's
Um,
true.
but like I feel very much the same as you. Like I think Andrea and Johnny are gonna get plenty of votes. I'm not worried about them needing my vote. I
We'll see.
am happy for them to both be on the show. Um, Tyreek, I really want to see like how this love pentagon plays out. And Lucinda, listen, I've seen clips of Lucinda. I want to see Lucinda unleash in the villa, and we haven't had that
Yes.
opportunity yet.
And
So,
I've also enjoyed her like becoming more competitive. It was
mhm.
really funny, she's becoming competitive. There was also the scene actually of I'll bring it up now with Nicola where she's like, "I'm not a competitive person. I just really care about doing well and good at things." And Isaiah's like, "That's what competitive is." Like
And it's
you
so funny. She's like, I'm competitive.
She's like a
What?
crisis of faith finding out that she's competitive. It's so funny. So I really like Nicola. I would like for her to
Mhm.
stay. And so your theory about them saving people makes me feel like, ooh, maybe there is a world in which my favorites all get saved and the individual people that I don't care about as much go home. But I don't feel like that's going to go specifically my way because of the people that I want to be here. But we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be 100%, but I feel like it's highly unlikely that they'll be dumping a couple, right?
Yeah,
So I
we'll
think that
see.
we have the odds of maybe getting the ones we like better to stay, depending on how it goes down. But we will find out about that, I guess, on Sunday night.
I would presume. I'm
Um,
excited.
there is After Sun on Saturday night with obviously Mara is back because she is no longer in a castle in
Nope.
Scotland. So I'm excited to see how that all goes. They were bringing, I can't even remember, they were bringing in a lot of guests for that as well. So I think that will be very fun.
Amaya Papaya is there. I believe
Amaya
Selly is going to be joining, as
Papaya.
well as someone else from last year. I think Courtney from last season,
Mhm.
and then a person I had never heard of. So there's some people coming.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I mean, After Sun is really fun, I think, since Mora
Yeah,
has come on. So I'm excited for that. And I'm excited to see the result of the vote on Sunday night. We will be back after the Tuesday night episode, which I will most likely be episodes 5, 6, and 7
I would
of
assume so.
Love Island. We'll find out. I'm assuming it's still every day but Wednesdays normally, and that we just got a Wednesday this week because it's the premiere week. But they never really
We'll
tell us all
see.
that much. But it
Sometimes there's no
was,
Monday, but we'll see.
yeah, I think that they've settled on it being every day but hump day for like
Okay, cool, cool,
marketing
cool.
purposes. But listen, we'll be with you every step of the way. We will figure out when it makes the most sense to record, and we'll record at that time. And you will have podcasts to cover everything. And we will continue to make sure the episode numbers are in the title, so or in the notes at least, so that
I'm
y'all
excited.
know which episodes we're talking about. Is there anything else that we didn't talk about, Scally, that you wanted to address before we move on?
No, for me, I feel like we did a good job of hitting on some of the sillier moments of the episode as well as all of the action. So, overall, just extremely excited about Love Island Games. I was not sure how they would pick up the franchise after 2 years off, but I think it's off to a really good start.
I agree completely. And so, Scally, for the people who want to hear more from you, where can they find you?
Well, if you love Love Island, The Challenge, there is also MTV's The Challenge over on the Free Agents podcast being discussed by myself and Matt Lagori. So go check that out. Otherwise, anything I'm doing on Twitter at Brian_Scally, on Blue Sky at Brian Scally, on Twitch at twitch.tv/bscally. And I'll see you there.
Amazing. And if you want to hear more from me, you can listen to Mess Magnets every week. Sasha, Joseph, and myself are talking pop culture, celebrity gossip, trending topics. That's normally dropping on Fridays. So you can go check that out. And you can follow me everywhere at Kirsten Said What, including twitch.tv/Kirsten Said What, where I am planning on a little bit more Twitch streams in the near future. So if you're interested, go check that out over there. Subscribe so you get, or not subscribe, follow so you get emails. You can subscribe after you've watched and decided it's worthwhile. And we will, of course, be back to talk about Love Island. If you are enjoying the coverage so far, you can rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. You can leave a review. You can tell a friend that you like the show and get them to give it a try. These are all great ways for more people to find the show so that we could potentially chart, so that we could potentially continue to grow, which is, what we need to do to be allowed to keep making this lovely podcast for you people. So we'll be back next time. Thank you all so much for listening. Bye.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.